My name is Amy Sattinger, and I am launching my first YouTube video on Western Sidereal Astrology. I'm so happy to have you here with me. We're in the process of inviting some other people,
Yay.
and I think we might have them with us today. So
You're
that's
already
encouraging.
live.
Oh, yeah, I'm already live.
So who might be watching you?
So I'd like to invite, I have a guest. This is Roland Takioka, who has been my esteemed marketing and business mentor.
I
And
can offer you a little bit of a clue also.
what's that?
I can offer you a clue.
Okay.
Below the screen, there is a some numbers, and it shows how many people are viewing the Hangout. Can you see that?
It says no viewers.
Okay, so it's you and me basically right now.
Yes, that's correct.
So when you get people that come join you and that are watching the show, the count will go up 2, 3, 4.
Yes,
Okay,
that's exciting.
so take it away, Amy.
Okay, we're going to take it away. So now I have Roland on board with me, and I am so delighted that those of you in YouTube land are here with us today. And as I'm getting myself comfortable, because it's starting to warm up in Southern California, our subject today is what is Western Sidereal Astrology? And because that probably is kind of a foreign sounding word to some of you, I would like to help you understand a bit of who I am and what I'd like to bring to you today during our conversation. I have been very involved in professional astrology for many years. And one of the things I've always been so moved by as a spiritual astrologer is that I really see your birth chart as your divine GPS, that you were given this beautiful blueprint when you came here. But one of the things was you didn't get those spiritual set of operating instructions and how you were supposed to be a human when you came here to the earth. So one of my gifts of being an astrologer over the years has been to be a guide and mentor, sometimes a muse, to inspire people to be their greatest selves. So today it's our first chance together, our first opportunity. And the big picture is if you had only 2 minutes, one of the things, most of us have seen a picture of a zodiac, whether it's in a book or on the internet. And I really see that if you were given this divine connection and this blueprint, then truly you get to be the director in your production, whether it's a film or a play, however you'd like to see it. So those 12 houses of the zodiac are where you're going to have your life experience. And it's going to change as you age and mature and have all kinds of wonderful adventures. Then you need actors in your production. And that is where the planets come in. And some of us as astrologers might use asteroids or other celestial bodies. But the key players are those planets. So understanding the energies of those planets and how they relate to each other can make a huge difference in your happiness or unhappiness if you're wandering around blind and bumping into walls because those planets are not, the energies aren't working together. So one of the important interpreters are the signs of the zodiac. And those actually have a very deep, mysterious meaning. Most of us have seen Aries through Pisces, and we have an identification with one. But think of it this way. In ancient Western Sidereal Astrology, the ancients, when they created this in Babylon, or brought this to planet Earth, they were connected to astronomy, to astrology. They based planting crops, their connections with others. They looked at events. They were concerned about the weather. They really were so connected and in tune with both heaven and earth that they used this divine system in all aspects of their life. And it was really based on the constellations and the fixed stars. However, over time, as science became more involved, especially Ptolemy and Hipparchus, they said, oh, that's interesting, but everything should be based on the seasons. At that time in history, that was a good suggestion. However, what they didn't take into account is the seasons, which would be our solstice and our equinox. Those equinox, they kept drifting westward. They kept drifting, and they've continued and always will. So we call that, many people call tropical or popular astrology, is what's called the moving zodiac. So although it's very interesting over time, it's now almost 24 degrees off where sidereal astrology is. So if we would actually look through a telescope, we probably wouldn't see things the way we see them on the internet in popular astrology, because that's not where they actually are in the heaven. So if I can return, if we think about the idea of your chart being your divine GPS instrument, and what if you're using calculations that are 24 degrees off? You live in San Diego, you're going to have dinner, and you end up in Los Angeles. Well, it sounds like your calculations were off maybe a few degrees. And that is really not much fun when you're living your life. You're looking for a new career or a good relationship, and somehow it just isn't quite happening. Maybe it's time to make an adjustment. So experience is the best teacher. I've done this for almost 10 years, and it wasn't always easy. But for almost everyone I've ever spoken with, once they really understand the pattern and the connection to themselves in their chart, there have been many aha moments and such important life changes for people that I want to use the system so people have the best adjustment they can possibly have. So fast forward a little bit, we're living in a very interesting time. We all know there's a great deal of cleansing on planet Earth. We're all experiencing changes that we don't even understand. So why not have the best information we can? So one of my interests in launching this YouTube show is truly to provide some great edutainment, because I know it's good to learn things, but we want to have fun, want to have a good time learning. And I think we do need to start from some of the basics, that we're great people. We want to be greater people. But it does help to understand some of these patterns, some of these challenges. So when the heavens open up and we have a lot of opportunity, we can be in a position to take advantage. And when we're in for a few challenges in life, why not use the best tools you have to rise up above them? So when it's over, you again can tap into your greatest self to have the life that you deserve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my dear friend Roland if he has a good question that he'd like to pose at this time, because today is more of an introductory, like let's get acquainted. And in the future, I look forward to getting questions from you that are in your heart, on your mind, that I can address in future shows. And I will be looking at what's up, what's happening in the world. We're going to be looking at Mercury retrograde. We're going to look at the eclipse, some different things you may hear about and be curious about, to see how you can use something in this show to go out and help make your day a better day. Roland, do you have a question for me that you'd like to pose in our first show together?
Okay, well, now that you put me on the spot without prepping me before the show starts, I will hit you with this. I know that the concept that you present has to do with spiritual astrology. And to me, I'm an internet marketer, but I also approach internet marketing from a spiritual standpoint, and that just kind of like snuffs out a lot of people thinking about internet marketing, just because if I say spiritual and they go, wait a minute, there's a disconnect that happens there. But my theory is that there is no disconnect because marketing and expression on the internet all comes from the individual itself, and you can't divide yourself from your spirit. No matter how physical you are, you can't divide yourself from the spirit. So if people are wondering about themselves from an astrological standpoint, then they're concerned with their functionality and daily life and everything that they do. And indeed, in that respect, once again, you cannot divide the spiritual experience from the physical experience. So one of the things that is like, I'd like you to talk briefly about spiritual astrology and why it's so pertinent, because the concept is not just what's happening in physical life and what you should do as a result of that. It has to do with your intention and your attitude and the way you navigate it to make yourself the happiest that you can in life. And that's what I get out of the concept of spiritual astrology. So would you explain a little bit of the connection between astrology and spiritual astrology?
Thank you, Roland. That is such a great question. I really appreciate it. And it's the perfect question because there are many people that offer tremendous value in astrology, and they all have very different roles. We all have a place, and we all can offer tremendous services to people. So my idea of the spiritual astrology is that in a simple way, I think it's important, if you will, to have a spiritual connection or our head in the clouds, but our feet on the ground. And to me, my greatest interest, because I am both an astrologer and a life coach, is being able to use this information and people being able to integrate it in daily life. So if I were to use, I'm going to use a real example of someone I know. They're having a really challenging 2-year cycle. Some cycles are very short, only last a month, and some last a couple of years. And in this cycle, there are things being revealed, some about their families, some about their history, and some about some things that have been hidden that they weren't aware of. Now, over this time, if I have the chance with an individual like this to talk with them, let's say in increments, let's say of every few months, then we can look at what's going on in their daily life to help them make a connection. For example, in this case, I want to encourage this person to improve their health habits so that they're able, of course, to be stronger, have greater vitality. And they've taken on a new creative project, and I want to be able to encourage them to have the best creativity available. But then the spiritual aspect is to also encourage these people. Are they, is this person being able to be connected? Are they exercising and connected with nature, which to me is another way to help people spiritually stay connected? Do they have some kind of a practice, whether they meditate or they are involved with light giving, whatever it might be? But they're able, in other words, to see, Roland, that it isn't just your chart doing it. These are energies, and then as a human, like you said, we respond. And my interest is people being able to have good tools to help them respond to these cycles, because we have new energy and new opportunity that comes when we can master these cycles. Or we can get angry and bitter and resentful, and we can go downhill. There's always that opportunity, to go down instead of up. I hope that's not too lengthy.
No, not at all, because it really boils down to the individual's attitude and intent. And so, I mean, just the idea of being positive versus being negative, something that is uh, pretty much inherent to this whole concept. It's like, are you studying astrology to improve your better opportunities, or are you studying astrology to try to avoid all the pitfalls that life is going to throw at you? Because those are two different vibrations completely. But a lot of it is able to identify that positivity, the option, that is feels to me like you approach everything from a positive standpoint when you can.
Thank you. It's definitely a work in progress. I am learning along with everyone, and that's what I always like to say. Every show, I'm going to learn as much from you, or maybe more, actually. And that's why I do want to encourage people to send me questions and comments so I can address them, and we can all grow together. This is definitely, all of us are a work in progress, and it's a gift to be able to use this wonderful technology on the internet to reach people in different parts of the world. I know so many people have an interest in astrology, and I really want to, as we leave, like I said, my great desire is really to move, touch, and inspire people so that each day they can be their greatest self. They can see these patterns of theirs as gifts. Some are definitely easier to navigate and use. Some are challenging. And that's where it's really valuable to have different mentors and people in our lives to support us while we move through these cycles in our life. And I'll be discussing that in different ways, with the idea of joy, and that sometimes something that might feel negative and terrible to us, when we can stay open for the lesson, quiet down a little bit, may really turn out to be our greatest gift in a short time. So I'd like to make sure people know how to contact me. You're always welcome to visit me on my website, astrocoachamy.com. My email's amy@astrocoachamy.com, and my cell phone's up on the screen. I really thank you for joining me, and Roland, I'm just so grateful to you to mentor me as we're going along with our first test shows. So I want to wish everyone a great day.
I, because you're looking on the internet for astro coaching, so it was an AMI.
Thank you, Roland. Thank you for that reminder. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for being here with us.